lovely good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchtime Cafe right here on Camnet TV. Remember, we are live on GoTV and DSTV as well as our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV Zambia. My name is Joe Mata, and of course, be prepared for another exciting interview this particular afternoon as you are having your lunch from wherever you are watching us from. You are welcome. Now, my guest this particular afternoon is a governance expert, and I'm talking about Mr. Toby Maliti. Now, this man was a dean of DC's district commissioners. He was also a DA for Kalulushi, and we'll be talking about a number of issues pertaining to governance and, of course, national matters. Mr. Maliti, good to see you and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you here, sir. How's the Copper Belt?
The Copper Belt is well and kicking.
Okay.
Despite a few grey areas here and there, but we're moving on.
Okay, we thank God. Now, my producers, I know you're not expecting this, but my producers have revealed to me that apart from you being a governance expert, you are also the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, which is the MMD.
Absolutely.
A national chairperson. Is that correct?
It's correct.
Okay.
I was elected at the controversial convention which was held in 2021.
Okay.
The convention which was injected due to certain grey areas.
Why are you calling it controversial?
Controversial in the sense that when that was followed, I mean, when that convention was called, we didn't, I'm saying we because I was part and parcel of the committee.
Okay.
We didn't follow the tradition or the right procedures of calling for a convention. Why am I saying so? When you call for a convention, you first of all, as a party, start with the intra-party elections. Okay, from the branch, ward, constituency, district, culminating into provincial conferences.
Okay.
Why do we do that? We are electing new leadership where we fish those leaders who are going to re-elect new leaders at the convention. So the delegates should be new, fresh leaders given the mandate by the grassroots to go and elect leaders. And so, during that time, before the convention, did we do that? No, we never did that.
Okay.
We never did that.
Okay, so you are admitting on this particular set that you are part of the legality.
Of course.
Okay.
I'm one person, I'm that type of a leader. When there's a mistake, I take ownership. You know, I take responsibility. Because when you're a leader, you need to listen. Where there's a mistake, and if you know you've made a wrong, don't defend yourself. Just own up. It means once you own up, you'll be able then to open a new page in order to move forward.
Okay.
The moment you start defending the wrongs, it means your leadership is questionable.
Okay.
That's right.
Now, Mr. Maliti, from your CV, obviously political CV, it shows that you have a lot of experience in politics. Now, I'm meant to understand that you were part of New Hope MMD, and you were a close confidant of Dr. Nevers Mumba. Though the discussion is not on people who are not here to defend themselves, but I'd like facts to be stated here. Why change now? What has happened? Why change now?
I'll walk you through. Of course, in the 90s, when MMD came in, taking over from UNIP,
Okay.
I was there.
Okay.
At this level, I was a youth chairman. All right.
Okay.
Later on, I became a councillor as well for 9 years. Then I was elected as a district chairman for MMD in Kalulushi.
Okay.
It saw me also rise to become the first DA Kalulushi. But before I became a DA, I was also a councillor in 1992. We were the first councillors in the MMD. Here in Lusaka, you had the official Mwales, the...
So it's that intake?
Yeah, that's the intake. the now Minister of Health, what's her name? Silva Masevo, and the others. So I'm from that school of thought in terms of leadership.
Okay.
1992. So I was also a councillor in Kalushi in a peri-urban ward called Chembe Ward. So I was a district chairman, DA, and then councillor. So I have both the civic, civil, and political experience at grassroots level.
Okay. Okay. Now fast forward. New Hope MMD, on the other hand, Operation Save MMD. Why Operation Save MMD? You seem to be sympathizing. I don't want to say factions, but I hear there are two ways: New Hope MMD and Operation Save MMD. You seem to be tilting towards Operation Save MMD. As the MMD, are you now one? Is the membership now? Has it agreed to form a collective and begin to reconcile its differences?
Yeah, let me walk you through quickly from the onset regarding where I'm coming from. I'm very quick and brief to the facts. But you see the reason why I'm talking about Save MMD and the like. I said I used to save on the district level. Thereafter, I became a provincial treasurer.
Okay.
This was at the time when we lost power. Remember, we lost power. And then we went to the convention where Dr. Mumba was elected.
Okay, that's in 2001.
No. I'm talking about, I'm trying to move forward.
Okay.
That's 2011 when we lost power.
2011. Okay.
Yes. When we lost power, then we went to the convention to elect Dr. Mumba.
Okay.
All right. I was at the provincial level. You remember those problems we had when it was time to elect a new president in 2015, that was? Was that 2015? Yes. But before then, we had the issues in the MMD. Of course, it was trending towards 2015.
Okay.
The coming back of Rupia Banda as president. Nexat and said we're going to bring in Banda. They had their good reasons as to why they wanted to bring in former president, but may his soul rest in peace. And so for some of us, we saw it as an offside, in a way of them not respect the constitution. We thought if they wanted Babanda to stand on the MMD ticket, there should have been that agreement between the two people, the former president and the Nevas Mumba, because Nevas Mumba had a constitutional right to stand. And on my part and my colleagues, we supported Nevas Mumba, which saw me suing Babanda in 2015. Okay. In fact, if I had known that the person I was supporting was going to lead us to where we are now, I don't think I was going to do that. No wonder those who knew him better decided to sort of put him off so that they would bring him Babanda. And I want to take this opportunity to publicly apologize to the late president, though he is no more. I think I made a mistake. I wish I had known what I was doing, that our actions were going to lead MMD into oblivion by supporting Nevas Mumba. If I'd known, we should have gone together with the other group. I'm sure by now, things would have been different. And so then you can see, now if you talk of suing Babanda, I sued Babanda on that premise. We went to court and we won in 2019, was that 2019? 2019 thereabout. Now, during that time, we had two factions. Okay? We had the Mtatis who went for the convention, remember? They were sponsored by PF then, to go for the convention. During that weekend when they were having that convention, we had a NEC meeting at Ibis. But before then, I remember very well that there was a situation whereby during the time the MMD was being run, Never Simomba was inclined in wanting to work with the PF.
Okay.
Okay? So, in one of the meetings, we met and we said, if we do look at alliances, who are we going to work with? Little did we know that he was in cahoots with the ruling party, which sponsored us to hold a conference at this agricultural college in near
NRDC.
NRDC. Yes.
Okay.
That was sponsored by who? By PF.
Were you aware?
Sorry, I can complain about that. Yes.
Okay.
The idea was they wanted to change certain things, but the membership refused.
Okay.
Refused because he has this sense of a narrative of wanting to change things according to what he feels. You know, in a democracy, if you have an idea, you need to bring it to the round table with the other members. You discuss. If they agree, and so will it be. But if people say this can't work out, you should accept as a leader. But he has a tendency of always wanting to have his way, to have things move. And this is what has led to the party going down.
Okay.
Because his interest is not that of wanting to build a party, but it's that of wanting, what am I going to gain from this, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So the convention then went ahead, but between these areas, there were a lot of wrongs that were coming. I'm trying to establish how we parted the company.
Okay.
All right. One, I remember when we won the case, we had a meeting at one of the lodges in Kafue, where I spoke, saying, Mr. President, now that we have won the election, we need to go on the ground and organize our members, because without the membership, we are nowhere. So membership is very, very important, but he never thought of that. For reasons best known to himself, nothing was done. On membership drive, you see, you have heard of late, if they hear somebody talking about MMD, I want to do this, I want to do that, they will then say, no, you tell member, he's not a member.
Okay.
But now one will ask a question. Who is a member of the MMD? Is that today, if we would follow the constitution? It's because from a long time ago, it was a tradition for the MMD to hold card renewals every year. It's a constitutional issue. You need to have a program where the top leadership will launch card renewals, which will culminate into provinces, districts, constituencies, and branches, so that every year members will be able to go to their branch official or ward official to renew their membership. And that's how you account for your members. Now, if we were to ask the National Secretary, I don't think he has any record. If we were to be asked today, say, can you bring a record of your membership to see how current? By current, I mean members who have renewed their membership.
So are you saying, Mr. Maliti, that in the last 10 years, card renewal has not been done in the MMD?
There's no such a program.
Okay.
Like last time, they were doing renewals when we heard there was going to be that convention, the injunction convention. That's why now they brought in some to start renewing and so on and so forth. During the MMD, those bygone days, for one to stand as a member of parliament, a councillor, or even on you need to prove that you've been a member of the party for the past 4 or 5 years, or even 3 years, consecutively. Now, if you ask us or go to the secretariat for that record, there's nothing like that. You find could be someone renewed his membership 10 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, and so on and so forth. It's for this reason, therefore, that some of us who were inside were fight to say we need to follow our constitution. We need to do things the right way. MMD being the mother of democracy, we need to travel in a road which is clean. And as leaders, we should be accountable. But unfortunately, my former president, and the team, they are not accountable.
Okay. Now, Mr. Malite, maybe one would argue that from media reports, there have been suggestions that you were suspended, then you were later expelled. Is this correct?
It's correct, but that suspension and expulsion is neither here nor there, because procedure was not followed.
Was it constitutional, maybe?
It was unconstitutional.
What does the constitution say?
Before I come to that, it's because I started talking of the wrongs that were being committed and constitutional wrongs.
Okay.
The likes of accountability. If money is raised, there was no accountability.
Okay.
The sale of vehicles, okay?
Party vehicles?
Party vehicles were sold. You remember those party vehicles which were bought by the late President Banda? They were all sold without the authority of NEC. You know, in every organization, okay, if property is to be sold, the chief executive will seek authority to the board, isn't it? You can't sell any or dispose of any property of the party or the organization. It's a general rule, in fact. I will quote the constitution, but it's a general rule in any organization. There are cases in court right now in government, I won't mention names, where someone was selling vehicles without authority of the board, isn't it? You know about that, but we can't talk about politics, it's a court issue. But I'm just giving this as an example. So even in the MMD, vehicles were sold without authority of NEC. 2021, we had a NEC meeting. I attended it virtually.
Okay.
Where the National Secretary reported to the board that the party has no assets. Are you getting me?
Okay.
Now, can you if you, I mean, you're
The
not
former ruling party.
ruling party has no assets. Now you know we had those vehicles. Can someone say the party had no assets? Little did I know, or rather did we know, that these people were busy selling, disposing of assets. So they were preparing the committee to come up with a resolution, say we have no assets, so that it could be in the future if they are asked. They say, but there's a resolution here to say you have no assets, so why should you question us? So that statement was churned to prepare the minds of the party that we had no assets.
Okay.
Fast forward, I remember one day we had a meeting at the Secretariat where I asked the president. It was I, the former president, Zalomes, the vice president of administration, and Chitika. Sambo and this other gentleman were not there. So I asked him, Mr. President, I'm told you've been selling vehicles. To the best of my knowledge, we have never met a snake to make a decision authorizing the Secretariat to dispose of the vehicles. So the question is, where did you get authority to sell these vehicles? He said, we use the authority of NEC of the late President Manawasa. You can imagine.
Okay.
How do you, Manawasa, did he dream there were going to be vehicles for them to make a frank decision that the NEC will never remember when it comes to the sale of vehicles? You can see. At that time, little did we know that they had sold vehicles that had even gone ahead at Rasa to change the ownership from MMD to the private individuals. So I think that started them. I'm sure that's when they started conceiving the idea of having me suspended, because they had opened the Pandora's box.
Okay.
When it came to manage, I remember him touring provinces at one of the meetings which I attended in Kitwe. By the way, the time they were going around, you know, according to our constitution, if the president is going to hold meetings outside, it's the chairman who is supposed to chair the meetings, and I'm supposed to know constitutionally. But I was not part and parcel of that. I simply attended that meeting, where I announced, among other things, that from the time he became president, he had raised $800 million plus. Is that little money?
Okay.
$800 million. Now I started thinking, to say, but then, what is talking about $800 million? We have never received any report from the treasurer, because when one raises money for the party, you should surrender it to the treasurer who banked the money, and it's NEC to decide how to spend such kind of money. For example, yeah. I'll read to you the powers of NEC.
Okay. According to a party constitution.
Yes.
Has it seen any amendments from the time that it came into existence, the party constitution?
Of course, the party constitution, there are certain articles which have been changed.
Okay.
But the issues I'm referring to, they have never been changed.
Okay, let's
now the procedure. Okay, let me first talk about this, and I'll talk about the procedure of changing the constitution. Powers and functions of NEC.
Okay, so you tell us the article.
Yes, I'm trying to find the article. Should be Article 19K.
Okay.
F. 19K and F.
Okay. Of the MMD Constitution.
Of the MMD Constitution. Powers and functions of the National Executive Committee. Okay. There are a lot of them, but if I can come to K, it talks of to ensure periodical examination of revenues and disbursement of funds and other properties of the party.
Okay.
So it means when one raises money, the money should be surrendered to the treasurer who will bank the money. Then the NEC will sit to space of such monies for programs and other issues. Okay. When it comes to property, it's NEC which has a say whether to sell such property or not. If they decide to sell, by way of resolution, the chief executive will be empowered to sell such. I'll give you one other example that I discovered during my tenure as DC, as DA Kalushi in the 2000, what have you. During the privatization of MMD, I want to say that I'm a sharpshooter to look at mistakes.
Okay.
That we compare with that one. I was DA Kalushi. During privatization of MMD, each district, that's mine, the CM, it had a valuation report tabulating which properties were going to be sold, approved by the board. Are we together? But land was not part of that report. The same land, empty land, like forest and whatever. It was not contained in the evaluation report, meaning it was not subject to be sold. Not so. Now, I received a report as DA then that hybrid, you know when you're going to Mufrila, Sabina, on the left side, they are on both sides. Now, the land which was on the left, that land was for the CM. Now, hybrid used to rent.
Okay.
And in the event of selling items, what have you, they were sold that land. So they came to see the town clerk, then Mr. Lavanda, to say, we want us to help us to remove the squatters. But Commander refused and said, you never involved us as a planning authority. So God said the DA, that's when I came to learn about it. So I became inquisitive, because I knew, thinking aloud, that land was not supposed to be sold, because it was not part of the selling and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So they said, no, that issue about DC, we can't answer you. That was the same HI in Kitwe. If you want to know more, you can call the same HI. So I invited the same chairman from Sarah to come. But instead, he sent his company secretary, the late Mukwankwa, Council Mukwankwa, if you remember him. He's the one who came. Okay. So we sat after I explained the pros and cons, and then we formed a committee. I was doing it for Kalushi district. We formed a committee to identify land, the same land. That report was hijacked because it was very implicating.
Okay. Which
prompted me as DA then to write a letter to the Minister of Land. I didn't want to write through PS because I know he was going to lay things. I simply copied my provincial PS. So I wrote a letter direct to the Minister of Land, PS, bring them to speed what was happening, that the same was selling land which was not part of the evaluation report. I said in my letter that, in my view, land was supposed to revert back to the Ministry of Lands through councils who are a planning authority. So that letter saw the appointment of the Commission of Land, investigation of the same land. They commissioned the commissioner to investigate that sketch. They wanted me to be on that commission, but I said, no, I'll give you evidence. Moving forward, when the commission finished their report, they wrote to all councils on the Copper Belt to take charge of the what? The same land. What am I saying here? I've simply given that as an example of how things are done.
Okay.
That land was sold without the authority of the board. So in the same vein, we as a party, if we're to sell any property like this or the vehicles, we are supposed to sell it after they approve, like this instruction we are having from the Constitution is. But they never did that. So it's this plus other queries I was raising concerning funds and so forth, that it ended me a suspension and expulsion. But coming to the funds, to the funds, like I said, every year according to our constitution, we are supposed to receive an audited report because funds have been raised. The treasury banks and what have you. So every year we are supposed to receive an audited report. How do you get an audit report? You involve auditors, not so. Now, who appoints auditors? It's the board. The chief executive will recommend to the board. Could be 3 auditors. Then you choose one. Every year, once the treasurer, surrenders, or rather gives the auditor all the financial records and what have you, they will carry out their audit. Then the auditor will come to the board to walk you through the audit.
Okay.
What you have done and the gray areas and so forth. Once they finish, you ask questions as board members. Once you are done, then what happens? The auditor will leave. Then as a board now you remain to consume that audit and come up with a decision. It's such an audited report which will demonstrate either to the resource societies and so on and so forth, because you have followed procedure. Now the question is, I'm asking myself, has MMD walked through what I've just explained? Nothing. As a board member from 2014, I don't even know who our auditors are. Neither have we received even a simple report, financial report from the treasurer. But here you are talking of $8 million. No accountability. And so after that injected report, they wanted to submit both the changed constitution and the audit report of the resource societies. So I raised the question, say, Mr. President, that was in the management meeting. Where is our morality, your morality and integrity, if you are going to submit an audit report which you never went through the right procedure? Neither did we have any article in our constitution changed. Because for the constitution to be changed, I want to marry the two. For the constitution to be changed, you need to marshal 2/3 majority.
Okay.
Like I said, a member will write an article in the constitution to be changed to the secretary, submit it to the board. Then you take the convention for a debate. It's only the convention, by attaining 2/3 majority, that article will be changed. If nothing happens in that regard, whatever changes you make to the constitution is illegal. In short, NEC has no power to change any article in the constitution. But Nevas Mumba and his colleagues have always wanted to thrive on such illegalities.
Okay.
Hence, ending me the suspension because I took too much and so on and so forth. But I was doing it on behalf of the members.
Okay.
You see, need to be responsible, to be seen to do the right thing.
Okay. So, Mr. Maliti, you are coming from the Copper Belt. So, let me get to find out what's the membership saying on the Copper Belt regarding the happenings in the MMD. We once had a former member of parliament, Honorable Gerson Chidima, who said that the MMD is now one, the membership is coming together now, they are having conversations and they want to form one formidable team. Are those shared sentiments on the Copper Belt as well?
They are shared sentiments. Like I said, you've seen the MMD has been dwindling, dying slowly but sure during the tenure of the former president, Nevas Mumba. All right? And the more reason why my talking came about so that we could harness the situation and bring things together, do things in the right way. But it ended me a suspension and an expulsion. To me, that expulsion is neither here nor there because, as far as I'm concerned, I was never given a chance to be heard. Okay. And after, NEC is not a final decider. Constitutionally, it's the convention which is supposed to decide on any decision that the NEC makes, either suspending anybody and so on and so forth. They have to evaluate that. If they find that they made a mistake, they will reverse the situation.
Okay.
And so, as far as I'm concerned, I was not heard, and as such, I'm still the national chairman of the MMD. Now, having examined what was happening, I saw it fit, and as national chairman said, the only way for us to move forward, especially that us as a NEC, I'm saying us because I'm including myself.
Okay.
Whether my thoughts were pure and all that, but as long as I'm part and parcel of the NEC, it means we have made a lot of mistakes.
Okay.
We have killed the party which produced 3 presidents. So MMD has an institutional memory. We can't allow people to continue doing the way they are doing. Even those young ones who are being born today, they would want to learn more about the MMD. And so we want to revive the lost glory of the MMD. How can we do that? Like I said, the membership wants to go to the convention, like I said.
Okay, so that's a message coming from the Copper Belt.
Yes, they want to go to the convention
to elect
new leaders who carry out the mandate of our constitution to organize, to form this country, to offer proper checks and balances, being a mother of democracy, to offer proper checks and balances to the ruling party, and many other things. Now, whether those of us who are advocating to go to the convention are elected or not, that's not an issue. Our interest, I and Mr. Chidima and others in CMMD, is to galvanize the well-being of the party. We go to the convention, whoever will be elected in whatever position will support that leadership.
Okay.
So that the MMD takes its place in this country as a mother of democracy.
Okay. Now, according to a political calendar, Mr. Maliti, we only have 1 year, 6 months to the general election. Now, we have heard of alliances that have come up in the recent past, for instance, the United Kwacha Alliance. Let me find out. You go to the convention, you elect leaders as MMD. Are you then going to be open to join an alliance or be part of an alliance?
First and foremost, when you go to the convention, you will receive instructions from the convention. They will give you what to do. And I have no doubt in my mind that at that convention, should the membership instruct the NEC to say you need to go into an alliance, so be it, especially given the 50+1 constitutional requirement and so on and so forth. So what am I saying? For now, we can't talk about alliances. our eyes are fixed on the ball to first go to the convention, to organize ourselves properly, and then we'll cross the bridge when we reach there.
How soon should we expect this convention? Since the majority of the membership are saying that you should go for a convention, how soon is this convention going to be?
It has to be very soon, and you know it's the NEC which is mandated to call for a convention.
Okay.
NEC has powers to call for constitutionally, or by 2/3, is it 1/3 majority of the provincial executive committees, they can call for an extra convention, and so on and so forth.
Okay. So it can be done two ways.
It can be done two ways.
Okay.
The
first one
is the NEC has got authority to what I do.
Okay. And
but
the
they can be directed by provincial committees
to
once
vote.
they meet. Say we want to go for an extraordinary convention.
Okay.
And there will be an agenda outlined as to what is to be done at that convention.
Okay.
So I hope Dr. Mumba being outgoing president, because his term of office is already gone. And if we go to this convention...
When did it end? I know Honorable Gaston Street,
25th...
when I hosted him, he did make mention of that.
May.
25th? 2022?
May, yes.
Okay,
so he's gone up. And in fact, what he has done is that, remember I was saying he was disturbed during his rule.
Okay.
Because of that convention of Amtat held, and so on and so forth. Now, if in that period he said he was disturbed, the 3 years has passed. So what is he going to say? He has already saved, let's say he said he saved less 3 years. So that 3 years has been done.
Okay.
So if I were him, I'll humble myself, being a man of the collar, to immediately organize the convention so that we go and elect. If you won't do that, the members will force him to do that. Because we have had enough. We can't allow a few individuals continue dictating, especially when your term of office has run out. Has run out. Why can't he be truthful for once? Okay. And there's this narrative which is being peddled to say, no, those people who are talking against us, like Venasishim and others, they hate us. Look, hate is a very strong word.
Okay.
We don't hate Dr. Nemas, but he's our brother. He's our brother. We hate the actions. Of course, if I were to meet him today, I'll meet him. I remember when we lost our mother, you know, his mother-in-law, when he left me, her soul rest in peace. I wish him condolences because his loss is my loss. That lady, I knew her, we used to go to her house, she would treat us well. She was our mother. All right? I even went to the house. Except on the burial day, there was another issue that took me out. I should have attended that burial. So what I'm going to say, all those colleagues who were ourselves who were saying this and that, we don't hate them. We love them. Except when it comes to doing the right thing, we are telling them, please, for once, own up. A leader should be someone who is prepared to listen. Listening is the art of leadership. Because if you listen, remember they say, if you're a leader who doesn't listen, then you become a chumbu mushololwa or mushebwa.
Okay.
So for once, I wish my brothers and sisters to own up. Let them meet. Of course, he held a press conference recently, or that late last year. He talked of the convention. So we are hoping that they will be able to organize themselves to start with the intra-party elections, which are transparent.
Is he eligible to contest though?
No, he's not eligible.
President?
He is not eligible. His term of office is gone. He will simply act to go and hand over. And we are welcoming him as our brother to hand over. He's our brother.
Okay.
A man of the collar, our pastor. Let him go and ably hand over. We respect him. Despite the wrongs, the many wrongs, we still respect him.
Okay.
Let him organize. Others, like the Benachitika and others, they are free to stand. And so am I. And we are saying, you see, going backwards, when MMD used to hold conventions, the NEC will lift all the suspensions and expulsions. You know, politics is a game of numbers. You need everybody. they would lift the suspension and expulsions so that you open a new leaf so that people can go and participate. So why can't we do that? Especially the way the party is, we need every member, those who are in, so that when we have new leadership in place, we embark on membership drive and membership conservation. You know what I mean by conservation? Membership drive, you recruit new members and conserve the ones you have. And so those who are suspended, they're still saying we are still members. And so it's an easy thing, let's bring them back.
Okay.
And so on and so forth. So this is the issue. We have to go to the convention.
Okay, let's look at, as we begin to wind up anyway, let's look at the way forward for the MMD, Mr. Maliti. You have mentioned of the outgoing president saying, holding a press briefing and disclosing to the nation that there are plans of going to the convention. Now, if that does not happen in the near future, what happens? What's the way forward?
The way forward is simple. Membership will cause them to go to a convention.
Have you given them a time frame?
Sorry?
Have you given them a time frame? For instance, have you given yourselves a time frame as the MMD? Let's say, for instance, by June, if the convention doesn't happen, what happens next?
We don't want to be seen to push them in that regard, but we know what is at stake. Especially that they are tuned to hold a press briefing. They are coming with new developments. So we want to listen to that.
Okay.
Should it fall short of the requirement, we have something under our sleeve, which we don't want to divulge.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
But what I just want to say that we mean well for the party. Not only for ourselves, but even for those NEC members. By the way, are you aware that they had a new NEC meeting recently, which was a flop in my view?
Okay, what made it a flop and when did they have it, Mr. Mani?
I think was that last week or so.
Okay.
Yeah, there were only about 11. Majority of the members didn't attend that meeting. They hired some guns to come and represent the NEC members. Most of the provincial leaders, not most of all the provincial leaders, never traveled. They're saying they were connected. They were never connected. So you can see that they like manipulating issues and they purport that the NEC made such a decision, when in actual fact it's just a clique, the so-called Politburo. Politburo is not part of the organ of the party. There's no Politburo in here. Because they have a tendency of saying the 4 people, 5, they sit to make decisions and they take it to NEC, which will simply rubber stamp the decisions, unlike making it free so that people can debate and come up with a better decision. So that has been his style of management. It's like a pastor goes to church to preach, everybody will simply listen, whatever he says people should follow. That's the style of leadership for Nevas Mumba. I'm saying so because I'm a crocodile who knows how a hippopotamus lives in the river. Okay. That's right.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's talk about the party leadership itself. So currently, what's really happening? You have disclosed to us that the outgoing president, you have referred to the president that is there, that the public knows, that he is the outgoing president, and he did make mention during a press briefing that he'll be going to a convention, the party will be going to a convention. So let's look at the entire leadership. What's currently happening right now? What are the conversations that are being held within the party's file and rank?
To tell the truth, most of the members, especially NEC, have left. Remember recently, the spokesperson, Dr. Kevas Mbuka, left? Some people don't want to talk. They don't want to come out. But they said, I don't want to be associated with the goings on because there's a lot that's wrong. And then many more of such. If they were to account for those members of the NEC, they could be there only about 10 or 12, just like the meeting that they had. Majority of them have thrown in the towel because of the dictatorial tendencies. They don't want to associate themselves with the wrongdoing. But having said that, the membership is resolved to work together. The more reason why I was able to associate myself with the operation, MMD operations, because I know they have got a good cause. This is a group of MMD members who have the MMD at heart. They don't want to see it killed, or rather go into oblivion. Remember, we used to have so many MPs in 2011 and councillors. Do we have any? But we have the potential. MMD in government, we had good programs which benefited a lot of our people. MMD government, rising from the dust when we took over, you remember the debt, 7 billion plus, what have you? The leadership was very prudent. The debt was cancelled by IMF. From there, we started spending within our means. By the time we were leaving government, the economic indicators were good. So Zambians know about that. Today, there's a talk about FISIP and what have you. That was our program. We knew how to run it. Okay. And I, speaking as a former DC, we were in charge. Okay. You see, the program was such that if a family had enough food at household level, then the head of the family will be able to think outside the box. He won't think of what is my family going to eat. Hence that program. 4D, for urea and seed. And we had a lot of maize. Smuggling was never heard of, though it was there. Okay. But because we had sufficient food as a country. Okay. Yeah, we had enough. Okay. Especially coming from the background of whereby we remember we had that drought, yellow maize and whatever. So we didn't want to experience any drought. So we prepared ourselves to make sure should there be any drought, okay, we had so much maize in stock to follow on. Okay. Mr. Maditi, I know we are winding up, but is it also true that the MMD is the one as a party that introduced the Constituency Development Fund? The CDF? Yes, we did. MMD? We did, yes, it is. Okay. Of course, Honorable Sistema can bear me witness. The ones who were there, they had the Constituency Development Fund. Except that was small. It was to help the constituents try to follow on a few things. Okay. Because even this decentralization policy which has come in, remember, it's us who tuned that decentralization policy. Except our friends, they have changed it to Constituent Development Fund, bring all the funds. The funds were supposed to go through the district councils, of course. Okay. I remember during our time when we were DCs. I used to be the chairman of the District Development Coordinating Committee. It's still there. Okay. But how do you synchronize the District Development Coordinating Committee, which is law, and the Constituent Development Fund? Because the District Development Committee, it was a cross section of heads of departments, NGOs, and others. They are the ones who were the planners for development. Okay. Even when we were planning some of this development, we were not planning it without the knowledge of the communities, because we would go to the communities to consult them, so that at the end of the day, when there's a project, they will have that ownership. You see what I'm saying? They will point out, these are our needs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you rank them, which is P1, 2, 1, and the ABCD, and many other issues. So such development plans will be then taken to the provincial, which will come net into national. Now, they have taken it to Constituent Development Fund. You've heard of late that this is now will be part and parcel also. So they are tuning because it's not perfect. It's not. There are a lot of grey areas. I think they have overloaded the MPs. If you go to the Constitution, what's the duty of the MP? Is a legislature? Is it a one to do the development issues? No. It's not. Okay. But of course the MPs are happy because they want to be re-elected using those funds, so I say they are behind. What I'm saying is we need to do the right thing. The idea is very bright because there's a lot happening at the constituency level, except the law somehow is, there are gaps, the grey area there. So I've no doubt in my mind, I'm sure they will harness it. Otherwise, like you said, yes, the Constituent Development Fund was our program.
Okay.
And so is the FISIP. In fact, a lot of programs that the governments from after we left the PF and what were our programs. So if they followed how we planned them, all they would do is just try to fashion a few things here to perfect them. That's all.
Okay. Mr. Maditi, as we go, MMD party sympathizers are watching, party members are watching, those that have resigned or those that are still holding on are looking for a word of encouragement. They are looking to the MMD as a party because obviously that's where they belong. What's the way forward, and what message do you have for them to believe in the movement for multi-party democracy once again? What message do you have for them to believe in the blue color?
First of all, the same MMD means well. It's led by Honorable Gaston Shima. They mean well. Many times our colleagues will say, no, you are being sponsored by PF. We are not sponsored by PF.
So there is no external hand?
Nothing. Those who were, they left. You can see they're still around. They mean well. And so this is the way I want to tell the group for Nevers Mumba. So you see, Gaston Shima and others, they mean well for the MMD. They shouldn't consider them as enemies. If they truly love MMD, if they mean well, I think we have talked a lot. Why can't we come together, embrace each other, and chat a way forward? That's the more reason why I've attached myself to them. And many others, by the way. And they shouldn't forget that there are many other committee members who are supporting the cause Honorable Shima and others are advocating. The narrative that's being rolled out. They mean well. We don't want this party to go into oblivion.
Okay.
Because if we move from where we are onwards, like I've heard rumors of what they want to do, I won't say it, then I don't know where they are going, where we're going. And so, encouraging members, hold on to your party. We've come a long way. In fact, this is where we can see the true members. Some of us, if I wanted, having tested the powers of DCs and councillors and being what have you, you've seen a lot of people who have left, joining other parties, to continue enjoying. You see, me, I joined politics not to benefit, but to serve. I'm service-oriented. And so are others, like Basijima and others. We are service-oriented. Whether we come in government as MMD or not, that's not an issue. We want to contribute. Even in the opposition, we are part and parcel of the government, because it's government in waiting. Remember during the time of Mwanawasa, Mwanawasa performed very well because of Michael Sata, the political tactician. When Mwanawasa started, he was a cabbage, isn't it? They used to call him cabbage, because he demonstrated the art of listening. That's the art of a leader. Whatever the opposition said, he would listen and implement. Because no one is perfect. But when he's a leader, if you listen to what the others are saying, and if you have made a mistake, you should own up. Say, I've made a mistake here.
Okay.
Then what have you? So Mwanawasa is a cabbage, later he became a steak. So he performed very well.
I remember when he was quoted in the Post newspaper then,
yes,
that I'm now T-bone.
I'm now a steak. I'm now T-bone. Yes, it was because of listening. Sada would go on the hammer, so they would arrange, and that's why he performed. And I'm saying that's the art of leadership. So I also want to advise by UPND, please talk less and listen what the opposition are saying. And if you know you have made a mistake, own up. Leadership is taking responsibility when you have made a mistake. No one is perfect at all, after all. Just like they sold all the maize, it was a terrible mistake. Remember they sold all the maize in the shop? Of course, drought, you don't invite drought, it's nature, isn't it? Imagine if they didn't sell the maize. I mean, that's something we're supposed to follow on. And so they should own up. But I think they have learned their mistake.
No.
They have put certain mechanisms in place to overcome that problem. Winter maize and so on and so forth, and many other programs. Farming equipment, I'm told they have been zero rated. The president said all farmers should bring in equipment. They won't pay tax. That's very good, isn't it?
Okay.
And so to the nation, I'll still come back to our membership. To the nation, I would say, lesa apalamikafye tapela muminwe.
Okay.
So governments are there to facilitate. It's up to an individual now to rise up and do ABCD.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Maliti, let me thank you more sincerely. Unfortunately, we need to go. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and obviously for bringing up to speed with the happenings in the MMD. We do appreciate.
Pleasure is mine.
Thank you, sir.
Once more, the membership should be ready. We need to fight as a family. We are one family.
Okay.
So we shouldn't think of division. There are no divisions in MMD. We are one family. Those who think we have divisions, they should wake up and be counted. We are one family. We have one common enemy. One common enemy is that one who is trying to distract us from working as one family. So the future is bright for us.
Okay.
All we have to do is we have the real members who have remained. Those who have gone, I have no doubt in my mind that they will come because they know how MMD works.
Okay.
The moment we go to the convention, a lot of people will come in. And the others are waiting. Some people say, who's going to represent? There are a lot of people who want to go to the convention. A lot of them.
Okay.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome, Mr. Maliti. We can only wish the MMD all the best.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you have it, viewers. That was Mr. Toby Maliti, a governance expert, but delving through into the issues that have to do with MMD, and it has been reviewed and disclosed right here that he is the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, MMD National Chairman, is it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much to my director, Mr. Isaac Chifita, and of course the entire production team. I have been Joe Smarter. Good afternoon and God bless.